Oh, yeah. Now we're talking.
God.
Now we're talking, boy.
What is going on?
Talk. Okay, this episode we're going to do some ride height adjusting, so we'll show you how to do that. I'm sure if you know anything about cars, you've done this before, but also go check out the previous videos where Bryce and I did the full install. So we did sway bars, bigger front and rear sway bars, adjustable. We set them both in the middle. We followed the recommended settings by Flying Miata. They're obviously pretty conservative. There's quite a bit of a wheel gap. So we're going to adjust the height lower. We're also going to play with Garage Line spacers. So why don't you grab a couple of those?
Grab some of those over here.
Show me what we're doing here. Garage Line, what did Garage Line make for my GT350? Was it the pedal?
Pedal spacer.
Yeah, so I had a really incredible looking pedal spacer, and then they make, why'd you pick these guys? They're just known for Miata stuff?
Yeah,
Miata
like
spacers.
so, like I'm on the Miata forums and I go in there and just read stuff, kind of like, you know, you used to go on the forums and read and talk about stuff. And they're always a big sponsor and supporter of the forum, so I was like, I reached out to them, and Jermaine got back to me, and he was like, yeah man, we'll do anything for Obsessed Garage, that's awesome. Let's set you up with some spacers. Like,
so we have 15, 20, 25 millimeters. What is that, 25?
This is a 20.
Okay.
That's a 15.
And so we've got 15 here, and so these have inserts. I don't know what you call these type of spacers where they have lug or separate lug inserts. So
kind of like bolt-on.
Yeah, the standard lugs. The standard lugs are what are used to sync or countersink. So I always found these to be sturdier, but most cars don't really have this type of spacer where
usually you would get like extended studs.
Correct.
On your hub.
Yeah, so you'd have to take the hub apart in order to swap these.
But you know, everyone says, oh, don't do spacers, you're gonna mess up your geometry. Listen, I'm not going after time attack times here or anything. And these are all grade 10 bolts and nuts and everything, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm not gonna be your next Mario Andretti ripping around in a Miata, so don't freak out.
I think spacers are fine. I mean, I run spacers on a lot of cars. As long as you get quality ones and you don't go either too thin or too aggressive. So if you do 40 millimeter spacers, or if you do 3 millimeter spacers, you lose your hub. And so you can see this extends the hub, so the wheels will still be hub centric. And then we're taking and using the factory studs to bolt the spacer to, and then the wheel then obviously bolts to the new studs. Did they have any recommended like thread lock or anything on these? Or?
No, the only mention was put them to 100 foot-pounds.
So I need an 18. I need an 18 here. Looks like these will pull the spacer on flat and flush. And it's right there. I think it's either 18 or 19.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's 18. It might be 19. I don't know.
Yeah, it's 19. So give me the Impact 19. This is the friction ring version of the Milwaukee Impact. It's interesting. I've never seen spacers bigger than the hub before.
Yeah. These are hub centric, so.
Yeah, you can see it's sitting around the hub and then extends the hub. So that's step one. Step two is lower, right? Oh, geez. You put it on backwards.
I kept it perfectly at what we set it at.
You could do a quarter turn and be just fine.
Well, some of them are already tightened, so I didn't bother.
Dang it, Bryce.
Let me get in there. I'll do it. You're gonna get hangry and
10 times harder. I don't even know which way is lefty-loosey now. I think you really messed it up here.
No, I tightened them.
You can untighten them.
Yeah. You go work on the other wheels. How about that?
I'll take the wheels off.
Let's see.
So we're gonna go 10 turns down and remeasure and see where we're at. And we'll see what the height looks like. But it doesn't make a lot of sense to set the height until we might as well put the spacers on as well. At least that's my logic. Yeah, we might have to do it a few times to get it set height, the right height. It's weird dealing with 15s. Or are they 16? What are these? 17s?
17.
15s.
15.
I meant to talk more about the width, the 190. What are they? 195s.
205s.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put 245s on it whenever I go through these or these get old or. There we go. It only took me
37 turns.
like 3 turns.
Okay, so now we could probably do this by hand.
Yeah.
So
you just want to like center it here and then count your turns.
Yep, that's the way I do it. So we're gonna go down, right?
Yep.
Which way's down?
So down is.
The other way.
Yeah.
This way.
Let's see.
Okay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You just want to leave those loose or
Nah, we'll
snug it up?
just in case. And because we're smarter than the average bear, we're going to tighten it with the nut facing forward. That way we can access it. Actually, I think it makes sense to go right about here. You know, and you can do this a bunch of different ways, but
We need to go hit the
oh
brakes.
man, you're always messing with this.
Listen, you left it at 100. You're not supposed to do that.
I don't care what you're supposed to do.
It messes up the calibration of like the spring or the bar in there. And then your 100 will be 90 before you know it.
Whatever, that's close enough. It's supposed to be 90 anyway.
So we're at about 9 inches.
Time is money for me. There's 100 foot-pounds.
I need to go hit the brake.
Yeah. Tighten these in a star. Two more. You can make it. You can
Running
make
out of juice.
it. All right. On.
Yeah.
That's 1. Let's do the back one. So we're gonna put what are you gonna put? A 25 on there?
We'll do 20.
What about the turns? Did you loosen this up yet?
I loosened it up so you can loosen and tighten to your desire.
10. And we're going so aggressive with 10 turns because you know these teeth, the threads are really pretty darn close together. And we need to gain another inch of height, or lose an inch of height, I guess you could say. I feel like I'm over here stealing your Christmas present, Bryce. Like I'm opening your presents for you.
You got the, okay, you do have it, so, okay.
We're in this deep enough that we just want to get it done, right? I would think.
Yeah. We're working together, teamwork here.
It's my garage, so I get to pick the fun parts too. That's a pretty meaty. You want the 20 or the 25?
Let's go 20.
Okay. I should listen when I ask questions. It's good that this blocks, or at least blacks out some of the hub that's gray, since the wheels are black. Mazda wasn't so wise here, were they?
God, don't tell me about that. I hate looking at that. I look at it and I'm like, why did you even, like,
Yeah.
it takes 10 more minutes probably to paint the whole thing like that. Not even.
So these lugs will, just like your wheel, will naturally center the spacer. Go. All right, so we got our height set, so we can put our wheels back on. Then we got to do a wash and drive coming up here. That's what we got to do next. Got to get them a set of black lug nuts too.
I know, I need that. They look so bad with the Grandpa Chrome ones, right?
At least it matches the BBS logo. Not too bad. I forgot he can hear me over there. My whisper talking. I'm in whisper talk mode. That hub's quite a bit tighter.
I got the other two off, I got them loose. Oh my geez, look at that Cheeto dust. What the heck? Cheeto dust, Matt. Cheeto
That'll
dust.
be all right. We haven't got time for that.
I know. I hate that because I just washed it and then it was like hit the brakes for the first stop and it just spreads everywhere.
Is that gonna be? Oh yeah. Can be way better. Remember, we still got to get an alignment, of course.
Check those later with the torque wrench.
You ever had coilovers before?
Yeah. I've had like, you know, the typical true body, whatever, threaded body ones.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
like this, a little different from this, where they had like it's like a McPherson strut, whatever they call it, type. But those were super stiff. It was like, geez, it was a mistake.
So supposedly these are improved ride quality, right?
Yeah, so it's super nice on the road, and if you ever go to a track, it's really nice for that too. It's like 400-pound springs in the front with 250s in the rear or 225s in the rear.
Okay, that one's on. I feel like these last couple of weeks I've gotten a lot of my list done. You know, I do this to myself where I'm like, I don't have anything to do. Let me create some projects, and then I create like a lot of projects. Too many projects. Check this one off the list. You can go get an alignment. You gotta give you a hundo to palm.
If they can get up on the rack. Oh boy. What's up, Ted? It doesn't look like much has changed, has it? From when it pulled in here. You have to like look underneath the car and be like, oh yeah. Yeah.
Why does this not feel like it's... doesn't feel like it's getting a good...
Little pizza cutter rotors there, Matt.
It's lightweight.
I have to paint those brackets sometime soon. Drives me nuts. You're like 75% of the way there.
Yeah, I mean, they even painted all the way to the back side of the...
Yeah,
The
like where the
mounting bracket
emergency
and
brake
everything.
thing is and all
Yeah.
that. And like,
Yep.
what the heck?
Tell you what, I feel pretty darn accomplished today, though. Got a full suspension of sway bars.
Yeah, usually
Couple
we'd be
hours.
coming back. That's usually how it turns out.
Let's lock this collar down. Did you torque this yet?
No, I need you to, well, I'll put my hand on the brake so you can torque
Oh, yeah. Hold it down. Hold it down.
it. Leather and
You're not holding it down.
Yep.
More brake. Okay. Nice wheel. I'm excited. Let's put it on the ground and see what height. Yeah, dude, lowering this thing without spacers would be a travesty.
It's so bad.
Be sunk city.
Like a little hovercraft floating around. Little Jetson noise when it goes around.
Yeah, I mean, this thing droops so much it's impossible to tell.
I know. That's the thing about those shock absorbers is they're super high travel, like long travel.
All right, moment of truth. Put that camera on the other side. Give us a little side profile.
Like we were 3.5 in the front and 13.5 in the front and 14 in the rear last time.
What happened to our limit switch? Why isn't it? We must have broken a limit switch or something because it did not make me go to down 2. Yeah, we can go even lower.
And we're at 13.25, so that did 1/4 of an inch. That did 1/4 of an inch. 10 turns is 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
Now at the back, we were at 14 last time. Now we're at, wow, the back went down a lot,
Yeah.
like a ton.
Looks like it did.
Because we're at 13.25 now in the back instead of 14. So that was 3/4.
So I'd say, yeah, go down another 5 turns in the back.
So yeah, probably
I mean,
like,
obviously, it's going to settle a little bit too.
yeah.
I mean, I would think that you probably don't want this car super low.
No, I just want to get rid of like, you know, I'd like close to like
Yeah.
a finger and a half, right
Yeah.
between the tippy top of the tire.
So I bet you we'd come down another 10 turns there in the back. Probably 20 in the front, 10 in the back.
Yeah, let's try like 10, because that was 1/4. 10 was 10 turns was 1/4 of an inch lower in the front. And then it was 3/4 in the rear for 10 turns.
So you want to go 5 in the rear and 15 in the front? No, we need to come way down in the front.
What is wrong with that? Is that different?
So the other side the same.
Because that's like 13 and a half.
That's where we started.
Yeah, like how'd that happen?
That doesn't look as high there.
Versus 13 1/4. What the heck? You go the right way? I wonder if we can get to those. I probably can't get to them at
It's
all.
so easy. There's only 4 lugs and they're not tightened down. So let's go up and let's freaking lower it. Let's move it down. We'll measure our shocks, make sure it didn't turn the wrong way.
Yeah. Super confusing how they write these on here. Front and rear. They just match. Front and rear camber, 1.8 negative degrees. Caster, 8 degrees as much as possible. Let's see. Toe in, 1/16 total. So they pretty much match everything besides, you know, the front caster's maxed out, it looks like. 'Cause, like, I don't know how you're supposed to make sense of this. It says front and then rear below it. So it's just all the same besides caster on the front. Obviously you can't put caster in the rear. So I guess you just match toe in, 1/16 toe. I'm guessing this is front, but it's over here. So front would be here and then rear would be here.
All right, so measure that perch. Measure the thread. I'll take the other side off, so we'll have both. So let's get that off and then we can check it.
This is like 7. I think he went the wrong way. This is 7.5 exactly. I think this one was like 9 something. You might have went the wrong way. Oh, brother, yeah. You went the wrong way.
Okay.
I was like, how'd that happen?
So we'll go 20.
Getting a little.
7.5.
Okay, is your 7.5 there?
Yeah. Let's see.
Much
Yeah.
play.
They're really loose over here, but
Okay. So let's go. You want to go down 10 turns and see what happens?
yeah. I mean, since that one was pushed up so high, it might have been raising this side, you know? So, you can go down 10 turns.
Okay, I mean, I can go as low as we want. We just have to push up on this.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever have the suspension at this type of droop.
Right.
Like, unless I'm launching it over
All
a
right,
hill.
so let's go lower.
We have 0 preload at all.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's like right past 6 3/4.
Okay, so we'll just let's see. I mean, it can't hurt to see what it looks like.
And then if anything, maybe we'll just go to like 7 1/4. So we have some type of preload. Just like a little bit so it's not clanking around, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, this is drooped so much
They do. They're super
that
long travel.
I don't think that having preload at full droop here, you're never going to go to. You'd have to be launched in the air to be at full droop.
I jump railroad tracks pretty often.
Regularly?
Yeah, like on my way home every time I just hit like 100 over the railroad tracks. Now we're gonna like drop in. It's just gonna be like
2.
super dumped hot boy.
Full tuck.
Full tuck.
3.
And I can always get larger helper springs if I really want that preload still to kind of be there. I can
Let's
just
check
go-
our measurement.
So what did it do? See how this spring is contacting, like the collar on this top A arm is a little different. So this one is lower.
There we go. Okay, I see. Good.
It's like right on it.
Easiest suspension project ever.
Yeah, pretty easy. I mean, if we didn't do the sway bars, it would have been done a couple hours ago. You might have to do a different helper spring if you're gonna go this low.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens. Let's just get the wheels. Let's get the wheels on the ground. Oh yeah. Now
Oh
we're
my
talking.
God.
Now we're talking, boy.
What is going on?
Tucked.
Oh my word, what the? You know, there's some people that'd be like, yeah, leave it like that.
You did it any lower?
Just a little bit.
I can't get into the parking lot.
You got plenty of room.
Maybe if I just go real fast, I'll rip the front lip off.
All right, back up. Split the difference.
You think we could put a different spacer on there? Move the 20s to the front, put the 25s in the rear?
So we still need to go down in the rear too,
Yeah.
even that low.
Say, do you just want to do it from the front here? Lift it up and you can just turn it.
All right,
Super easy.
Take it off.
So you want to shoot for like what, like 7? Because we're at 6 1/4, so like 7 1/4 total.
We're at 6 1/4,
6 and
3/4.
6 3/4. So we can go to 7 or 7 1/4.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
You could try like 7 1/4. I feel.
We were at 7.5 before, and we had 2.5 finger gap.
Well, the one side was raised up way more, so it might have been causing that other side to be a little bit higher.
You gonna try that then?
Yeah.
Just put it down on one side and see what it looks like.
It's not just gonna skew it.
Not
One
that
side's
much.
higher than the other.
We'll get at least an idea of where we're at. Yeah, it still needs to come up. I mean, we're going to want to err on the side of a little bit high because it's going to settle a little bit.
What does that do with this? So it actually kind of keeps it in place.
Yeah.
This is last time. I might get a little bit longer helper springs for my Bach depending on how the difference is between each spring length. Because the rears are a little bit longer. Those helpers.
All right, let's put the rear down right now.
Do like
Is it going up or down?
we're gaining, and don't we want to?
Is it 6 1/4 now?
Yeah, I started at 6. We're terrible at
Okay.
this.
Well, all of a sudden there's a ramp in the way. Can't get the freaking wheel. Oh, because it's lower. Can't get the wheel back on. Should pull out now.
I got it. You got the ramp on that side.
Got it. We're in this deep now.
Twin bush hacks right here.
Okay. I bet you we need to come up in the rear. Only one way to find out. If we were smarter, we'd be keeping track of exactly how much we're going up and down.
We started at 6. We're at 5. A little bit under 5 3/4. Just like a tiny, like 16th. So. So we're at like 2.
So if we're going to keep the front at that height, you need to go down lower. But I think we're going to have to come back up in the front
We're at a finger.
because it's going to settle a little bit from there. So the rear needs to come down a little bit, the front needs to come up a little bit. I normally get pretty lucky on this. It usually only takes me a couple of shots, but
So Mike, you can leave if you want, and I'll just move the camera around. I mean, it's nothing very exciting going on besides 5 3/4. No, 6. No, 5.
I got time.
Okay. I didn't want you to have to stay around and watch us fiddle around with.
he's
measuring
invested
things.
in this project. He's been here all day. He wants to see it. He wants to see it outside.
Want to see me totally bottom out exiting the parking lot? It's your... I got little, what do they call them, curb checkers?
What is this, a 6'4" Impala?
Still needs to come up in the front. Still needs to come down in the rear. What the heck? I need to jump up and down on it a little bit. What's the other side look like?
It's super high probably. It's all like, you're driving down a road like this. Yeah.
Oh,
Careful, Bryce. You don't got a hard top.
Getting a little excited, sorry.
this side, this ride height in the rear looks pretty good.
It's like one. But like that might be the other side or something, like skewing it. I don't know, because we're gonna measure this and it's gonna be like way higher than that one or something.
We gotta go drive around, but we gotta raise this one up. What?
I was wondering if you fit in this car. Do you sit above the... Maybe you should hop in.
Okay, that'd be a good picture. It's like four heads, like gotta take a picture right here, so it's just like four heads like above the...
It still needs to come up, don't you think?
I'm sticking up.
It comes up, then it needs a bigger spacer.
Yeah, that's... I mean, that might be pretty good. Maybe drive it around like that. It's a little bit more than a finger.
I see you on the southwest side.
Yeah.
And we could try putting the 20 and then 25.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to get like the fingers rolled a little bit too. I don't know. They're pretty chunky.
I don't think you're rolling. Yeah, I think.
Because I think this might be good, depending on, because it's a little more, I can kind of wiggle my finger in there.
So now we gotta get them all the same.
Yeah, I got to
So-
get the right same,
Get it close and then take it out and run it and then let it...
well yeah, this one's lower still. Because I figured this is going to be even more sunk, 'cause- what are you, hey. He's a little guy, leave him alone.
What is that even doing?
It's holding the end links onto the car.
That's your ground. Yeah, that's your ground strap.
You sure you just don't want me to twist it with the tire on? It's way faster, I feel.
Try it.
All I need to do is get that little wrench in there and then I can just twist it, tighten it down. 'Cause
Yeah,
right now,
man.
I'm not even worrying about how many turns. I'm just looking at,
Yeah, I wish we didn't tighten the collars up every time.
yeah.
Normally you do this once or twice and then. That's why you don't want to jack it back up to take the wheel back off and tighten the collar up again.
Dude, my feet hurt.
It's like this, like standing on your toes, like
My arms are tired.
just. Oh, dude, I just did this with my toes, and it was like,
I can feel the dehydration.
oh. Okay. 5.5 in the rear to match the other side. Now, check this again. Yeah, it's not that hard doing that with the wheels on. It's actually pretty easy.
Down one.
Oh, geez, the wrong one.
Move the rear down.
I put it to what this one was to match that one, because this one was higher than that one.
Yeah.
So I'm at 5.5 in the back. And then like,
The front looks good here.
oh,
Back's too low.
I'm 2 fingers over here. What is it over there? Almost 2 fingers.
That's a gosh darn good project there.
Yeah, a whole day. Almost. Maybe, we don't know.
You drive down the road and it's clunking and clanking. And
I'd be like, you hear that? I don't hear anything. Okay, so the final, I shouldn't say final, because it might change, suspension adjustment that I came up with. Let me give you some ISO here. So on the rear, from the bottom of this perch, let's see if this will autofocus for me. Probably not. So from the bottom of this perch right here to the center of that bolt, it's 5.5 inches. And that gives me 12 3/4 inch from center of wheel to edge of fender. So that's 5.5 on both of those. And on the front, I did, so this might be different if you have a different trim, if you're doing this to your Miata. My trim's a little lighter than some others. So on the front, so from the bottom of this perch, the very bottom of it, to the center of this bolt is 7.5 inches. And that gives me 12 3/4 from middle of the wheel to the edge of the fender. And it's the same on that one as well. And that's a little more than a finger's gap between the top of the tire and the fender. It'll probably go down a little more, so I might change it a little as it settles. But that is what I went with. I'm gonna put on 25 mil spacers in the back and move the 20s to the front just to see how it looks. I don't know if I did that, I'd probably have to raise it up just a little bit, but that is the setting I'm going with for distance from center of bolt to bottom of this perch, this collar. How much travel these dang shocks have. It's like a monster truck. I mean, look at that thing. It's huge. And in the rear here, there's not as much travel, which I guess makes sense. You would think the front would tilt a little more going if you're driving on a track. So I'm gonna try and put those spacers on and see what they look like. Okay, forgive me for a shaky footage. I'm hand holding the C200 here, but I put 20s on the front and 25s on the back. And I imagine I'll have to probably raise it like 1/4 inch on each shock because eventually I'm gonna go to like 245 tires. These are 205s. So with 245s, I'll probably have to raise it up 1/4 inch from perch to center bolt. But this is what it looks like. So I still have to get it aligned, but you know, I might go back to 15s and 20s, but I'll try this out for a while and see how it does. So the car is a lot lower. You know, I could fit my whole fist between the tire and the fender before. Now it looks way better. So it's still pretty high. And there's CrossFit going on out there, so if you hear people screaming, there's CrossFit. So I think it looks pretty good. I like it. I'm super happy. I'm really taken away that Matt bought me the kit. I mean, it's a pretty expensive kit to buy, and you know, I'm super thankful. So thank you, Matt. I appreciate it and appreciate everything you do, and I'm sure you appreciate all the stuff all the employees here do. So yeah, I think it looks pretty sweet. The back might be just a little bit lower than the front, but I'll probably mess with it when it settles officially and then tweak it. It's really easy to adjust these springs. I mean, you untwist the collar like 3 turns and you can easily turn it on the car. So it's yeah, super psyched. I don't know how many videos this is going to be, but we took quite a lot of time getting that front sway bar in because we're acting like a bunch of idiots trying to figure out how it goes in. So hopefully this video is helpful to anyone who does this, because I haven't seen any videos on installing this, or I haven't looked hard enough. So yeah, there it is. It's dark out, but awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for letting me put my car on the channel and do work on it, and it was fun. You'll probably see the car sometime in the future. I don't know. Small upgrades. So looks good. Thanks for watching. See you all later.